Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Health Chats Among Friends. My name is Deidre Kindred. I'm a nurse advocate, educator, and navigator. And tonight I am simply honored and blessed to have my good friend, Naomi Jones. She's a life coach RN. So, Naomi, say hello to everyone tonight.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you, Deirdre.
Oh,
I can't. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. It's all mine. So Naomi and I met a couple years ago. Oh, has it been that?
Yes.
A couple years ago at a conference where she was a speaker. She was phenomenal. I can't help it. And after that conference, I was like, I gotta meet her. I gotta get with her and get to know her and learn from her. So tonight, Naomi, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Deirdre, yes, we met that 3 years ago and we just had that connection. I think great minds, that's number one. Being nurses, number two. But I am a registered nurse for I've been in healthcare for over 40 years, we'll just say that. It's been a long time. And actually started out in the healthcare field as a home health aide. And it was so funny because my mother was a nurse. My both of my aunts were nurses, and even my grandmother was an OR tech. And I did not want to be a nurse. I figured that we should do something else in this family besides being nurses. But I ended up in a home health aid program and actually fell in love with the healthcare profession, with taking care of people at their most difficult times. You know, when you're sick, you're just not yourself.
Yeah.
Um, you're just not in the best of sorts. You can't think clearly. You need help with direction on what to do. And I just found my calling in being in nursing. So I went from a home health aide to an LPN, and then I became an RN and eventually moved into uh, management for I was in management for about 15 years. And I ended up with my master's. So um,
Yay.
the mother of four, so did all of that going to school with kids and husbands and running households. So I know the hustle of trying to get things done. And nursing just turned out to be just my calling.
That's beautiful. That's just a wonderful story. Some people, everybody has a story. And some people say they grew up wanting to be a nurse. That wasn't my
Yeah.
my track either. I never wanted to be a
Oh,
nurse. I didn't grow up
oh,
saying
okay.
I wanted to be a nurse. No, 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 no. But now I wouldn't do anything. I know my purpose and I'm passionate about it. So, speaking of knowing your purpose and being passionate about it, tonight Naomi and I are wanting to discuss how to keep your morale up, especially in this season of COVID, and especially nurses, because we're nurses. We're a little bit more partial to nurses. So, no offense against anyone else, but we
Just a
love all
tad.
our other healthcare professionals as
Yes.
well. But coming from a nurse perspective, we're just going to have a conversation about how we keep our morale up because we're human too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that it is so funny that looking at morale among nurses, and it's funny because every year when they do that most trusted profession,
Mm,
and nurses always come out on top.
right.
Yet
Mm,
we're not trusted by the healthcare community with the high respect that I feel that we really deserve. Anyone who's been through nursing school knows that, and what, two-thirds of people usually don't even make it. That's number.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then all of the things that we have to learn and know and understand. And I love just even how you are a personal nurse advocate, because that's the one thing they teach us in nursing school is about how to be the patient advocate.
Right.
You're that person that connects the doctors and connects your lab techs and connects your sonograms and your dietitian, and we connect all the dots. So we're kind of at that center, but yet somewhere along the line, I don't think that we often take the authority that we
Mm,
need to have. So one of the things, especially during this COVID time, and I watched the a woman who was speaking for the stewardesses, the airline
mhm.
stewardesses, and she was getting on all of the TV channels, the news channels, and she was speaking and advocating for the stewardesses and the pilots and the airline personnel. And in my heart, I said, "Where are the nurses?
Mm,
This is a time for us to be our own best advocate, because I know that there are nurses out there, especially the ones on the direct front line,
right.
nursing homes and in the hospitals. They are seeing firsthand and dealing with what we've always dealt with: short staff, uh,
Yeah.
not enough supplies. They can't tell me that there's enough PPE out there. I already know there isn't.
Hmm.
So, and yet we tend to do our work in silence. And so, one of the things that I would love to see nurses do to really capture their morale is be our own best advocate. We need to be speaking out and saying what we need. What do we need to have to make our jobs more effective so that we could be more effective at our jobs?
Right.
Because when I started out nursing, Deirdre, I started out with team nursing. We
Oh,
used There are a few of your listeners who may remember team nursing, and that was, you had the team, everybody. So this one gave med, you had the med nurse, you had the wound care nurse, you had your charge nurse, and everybody had their kind of assignments, and you worked together. And then we had the transition to primary nursing.
hmm,
Nursing makes sense in theory, in that I am the nurse, so I feed you, I know what you eat, I wash you, I bathe you, so I know your skin integrity.
right.
Uh, I'm making sure that you have your tests. I'm giving you your meds. But what's not included in that theory is the amount of brain power that's needed, the amount of concentration that's needed, the knowledge levels, and the time to be able to do that work effectively.
Hmm.
So, I really feel for my nurses out there. I pray for my nurses all the time. And like I said, all healthcare workers, but understanding that this may be the time when you really look to start being your own best advocate.
Right. And right. And also gathering, I would say gathering that core team of people who can be supportive to one another.
Yes.
Because when I went to nursing school, there was an article out of nurses eating their young. You remember that article? And it is or used to be so true. And I
Hmm.
joke with some people sometimes because when I got, well, I'm a little feisty and a little outspoken, and a little,
Just a tad.
just a little bit. But I was told that you don't need to voice your opinion. You know, you're taught as a nurse, oh, just it's okay. The
Yes.
doctor or whoever is having a bad day, and you just chuck it up, buttercup, and be quiet and go back and
Yes.
do what you need to do. And
Yes.
so many
Yes.
nurses would be like, oh, no, don't say anything to so and so. We're going to all get in trouble. It's that bullying type system,
Yes.
right? And so it's hard to find someone that you can really trust sometimes. But that's when the nurses need
Absolutely.
to, stick together and get to learn who that human being is that you're working next to.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. I think that that's a big thing, because and I didn't even read it from an article. Deirdre. I actually just heard the phrase
Mhm.
because throughout my over 40-year career, it has come up more than once how
Right.
nurses are young. And it has come up as an actual reality to me that I lived through. It's like, why do I have to feel
Right.
attacked in
Right.
a profession that is absolutely noted as a much trusted profession? And
Mhm.
how many patients over the years have said, I never knew what a nurse did. I
Mhm.
never knew. So we have a couple of things working against us where we don't look out for each other.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm glad that you're doing something like this, is where we can feed into each other. We can pour into each other to say, hey, look, you're not alone.
Right.
We've got people out here who have the mouth and have the um, desire to want to see just a little, who want to see our profession
Right.
thrive. And I
Right.
mean, do well. This is the time now we should be talking about more money, more power, more.
Mhm.
It's not just the dollar. We
Yeah.
should be talking about more um, individual power that nurses could have. And I know we sort of went in that way as a nurse practitioner track,
Mhm.
but the bedside nurse, because I guarantee you the bedside nurse knows a lot about what's going on with this COVID, is
Absolutely.
not able to put the pieces together to get them out of the hospital so that the community at large could really understand what's really going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah, I
oh, it's just so, we could talk about this all night because it's just so many things that can be done. But I want to
yes,
encourage my nurses and my healthcare professionals out there that you have to take care of you inside.
yes,
You
yes,
really do. Sanity is key.
yes, it is. Yes, it
And it can be done, but we have
is.
to learn to ask for help ourselves.
Yes. And I think that, when we're talking about nurses not wanting to be that person within the facility, maybe to raise the flag, to say the
Hmm.
thing we need. But we have nursing organizations. We have our ANA,
Hmm.
we need to be pushing them, write them
Right,
letters and tell them what's going on.
right.
Say, listen, I need you to get on the news. I need you to advocate for me. So it goes right along with what you're saying as far as asking for help. But we have organizations that we pay dues to that are, supposed to represent us. And so we need to reach out to those organizations and hold them accountable to assist us in
Right.
getting our message out in what we need. So I also agree as far as looking at inside.
Hmm. Hmm.
Actually, it's funny. That was what I wrote as my first book. It's called Lead Powerfully from Within.
I love it. I
Show
love it.
you.
Hold that up there.
Uh,
Lead
It's
powerfully
called,
from within. That's
yes,
where it
yes.
starts. That's where it
That's where it
starts.
starts. And it was funny because when I got close to retirement and looking at my what's next, and when I said, what would I want to share with my fellow nurses of 40 years? What do I want to leave them with? And so what I really write about in this book is, how do we get back to why we're doing what we're doing?
Mm,
How do we get back to our real purpose for going in to this profession? Because when it really comes down to dollars and cents, we don't make the money we deserve. When I divide my hours into how much I'm working as to how much I'm getting paid, even though the amount sounds good in when you say annually, oh, I'm making 75,000 annually, but yeah, how many hours am I putting in there?
wow, you're
How many
right.
study? How much work am I putting in? How many nurses have gone home with the keys or had to come all the way back or thought about a medicine that you didn't give maybe and you weren't sure and you called back and you woke up out of your sleep because you just thought of a way that you could do a treatment maybe differently. So when you add it up, it came out to I was making home health aid pay.
Right.
So so it can't be just about the money, but it is about our purpose. And we have such a great opportunity to meet people where they are and really help them get into not just a physical health being better, but their mental health, their emotional
Mm-hmm.
health. And we get to do all of that, but I am a firm believer that you can't give what you don't have. So
Oh, you said
to
that.
do those things ourselves, you can't
Mm-hmm.
don't have. So if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not making sure that you get that extra day or extra hours or have that quiet time, or what do you do when you want to relax? Do you like to watch TV, comedies or something, or do
Mm-hmm.
you read a good book, which you could get mine?
Yes, absolutely.
But do you like to read a good book?
Right.
What do you love to do? What calms you? What motivates you? What renews your strength? Because we need to do that for ourselves.
Absolutely. You have to tap into that. You have to stop feeling like you're being selfish. You are being selfish if you don't take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Really and truly, you can't give from an empty cup. And you
That's right.
really have to, and I had to talk to myself about this because it was many,
Hmm.
many times I put myself on the back burner because I had to, go into work and be charge nurse or train some nurses or whatever it may be, or we were having so many surgeries that day, whatever it may be. But I was always on the back burner. 12-hour shifts, we didn't get no lunches, wasn't no
Hmm.
breaks. It was just constant,
We call
constant,
that
constant.
nurse's bladder.
Right? Oh, girl, yes. You count how many CCs you.
You didn't drink
Okay,
your
wait a
water,
minute.
so you
Wait a
wouldn't
minute.
go to the bathroom, and you didn't go to the bathroom. Now you got a UTI. Okay, all right.
Right, right. And it's so many, lots of times I would see my nurse mentors, lots of times, and just overweight, smoking,
Hmm.
diabetes, hypertension, and they're going in there taking care of the clients that probably are more healthy than they are. It's like, wait a
At
minute.
times, for sure.
But
And
it's also standing up to our support, our alleged support system in the hospital. Yep, I said it.
that's right.
Alleged support system in the hospital and banding together as one because
Yes,
I tell you, we are the core, the
absolutely,
foundation of the hospital. And
absolutely.
they need to start taking care of their nurses.
Yes,
Period. In the
yes,
story. And that
that's
was the
right.
reason that I was so boisterous sometimes because it's like management, you're sitting behind a desk and you've never been in the trenches. You haven't even gone and checked to see what was the morale of your nurses.
That's
So,
right.
nurses, we got to do that for ourselves together.
Yes,
We have to stand up for one another together. It has to be. That,
yes. It really does, and it's something that I write about in the book. I call it being selfishly selfless. So we have to be selfish about taking care of ourselves so that we can be selfless
right,
as we're taking care of our patients.
right.
So we have to be selfish. And like you said, it's put out that it's a bad thing. But no, in a marriage or the family situation, they always say, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Mm,
The nurse isn't taken care of,
right,
you know what? The care disperses because we are the core. The care that's given becomes that much less effective
right.
because we're taking care. We're not bringing our full self to the table
Right.
with gifts and talents.
Especially in this season.
Oh, in this season, and
Hmm.
especially, I think it becomes crucial to, because like you said, we're all human. We have our fears. Anybody thinking that the healthcare personnel working in the hospital don't care about their own lives or
Right.
their own families that they go to at home every night. You have some people living in trailers
Mm.
outside, but people, that's not an option.
Right.
Not an option.
Yeah.
You have to you have to go to work, and then you have to come home and pray that you're not bringing this disease home
Oh,
to your
yes,
family.
ma'am. Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
brings a whole lot of mental stress and physical stress. So getting rid of stress, by number one, coming back to, like I said, looking at fun things that you like to do, taking care of yourself, get that, you know, um, put your feet in a bucket of hot water. Because right now I'm not even going to the massage therapist. I'm not going,
Right.
but
Right.
massages. But hey, get somebody in the family, maybe to rub your shoulders or do something for you, put your feet in some hot water, warm water, and so, but also just by remembering that you have a calling and a purpose on your life.
Mm-hmm.
And this brings me to our spirituality,
Right.
a big key. What we have to have, I look at mind, body, soul, and spirit. So you
Right.
can renew your mind, you got to take care of your body, and your soul, the essence of who you are. That's that reading the book, that's that watching your show, that's that hanging out with family or doing Zoom with families, since we can't really
Mm-hmm.
connect the way we are used to. But that spiritual aspect of our lives has to be taken into consideration, because we need somebody to lean on.
Amen. Amen.
And like I said, maybe the advocacy is not necessarily in our, always in our human connection, but our divine connection.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be tapping into that.
And I want to say something too to those that were in the mindset that I used to be in. Oh, I don't have time for that. Oh, I can't
Mhm.
go and watch television, or I can't go and get my nails done, or I just don't have time to read a book. I'm too busy. I got a husband and kids, and
Mm,
I got to go to work, and I'm just stressed out. What I say to them is God gives us all 24 hours. And sometimes you have to say, now let me take that sometimes out of there. You have to put a stance down and you have to say,
yes,
I'm going to start with me
that's right.
today. I'm going to take 10 minutes. Everybody has 10 minutes.
That's right. That's right.
10
Doesn't have to be
minutes.
much. Hmm.
And it does, you're right, it doesn't have to be much. And it starts with you taking care of you, pouring into you. And I love what you said about body, mind, spirit. That it's also just take it in little chunks. Just
Yes.
make yourself a plan and say, okay, I'm going to get up 10 minutes earlier or every day, and I'm going to read a devotional or do something that I like to do. Put a
Right.
timer on and then set that
Right.
timer. And when that 10 minutes is up, you can look forward to the next 10 minutes. I guarantee you will feel so much better after about, it takes what, 30 days to have a habit. So
Yes.
keep doing that for about 30 days. And then you'll find yourself saying, oh, well, shoot, I'm worth 30 now.
There you go.
you know?
That's so right. That's so right. And it's funny that you said that, because I just recently, I'd say within the last 2 years,
Mhm.
I could never do meditation. My
Okay.
mind is racing. My mind's all over the place. So I couldn't do meditation. And someone gave me that same idea, and I found just little
Yep.
10-minute max videos on meditation. I gotta tell you, I'm a witness now. I love meditation now. And now I am at my 30 minutes or 40 minutes. I use it sometime to go to sleep, especially as nurses. Like I said, you come home, you're overthinking, you're
Yeah.
replaying
Oh
everything that
my
happened for the
goodness,
day.
yes.
Those sleep meditation tapes are so helpful because it actually teaches you how to start relaxing your body by starting at the feet. And you're just
Mm,
practicing, starting at your feet, feeling every muscle relax and going up. It's amazing. Um,
mm,
to a lot of my clients about breathing. And this they can do during the day, just taking 3 deep breaths, just stopping for a minute, breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, but intentionally take 3 deep breaths, and then you can put into words that devotional. You can put in something that you're thankful for. You can say a quick prayer or something, and it it relaxes you. You know, we know about biofeedback, right? Dear,
mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm.
approved in science,
Right,
biofeedback.
right, right.
Biofeedback is just you taking authority in your mind and telling your body what it's going to do right now. And it can help you during the day, especially during this time, because sometimes you just got to have a minute, you
Right.
know. You
Yes.
go over to that quiet spot and you find that little spot where nobody knows you, it's not your assignment, and you just
Mm-hmm.
against the wall and you
Yep.
just breathe, you know.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's something that could help them right away and in the moment.
I love it. I love it. Or that counting also. Just
Yes.
just count backwards.
1 to 5, 5 to 5, 4, 3,
Yeah.
2, 1.
Yes.
Yes.
And just kind
Or
of,
10.
like you said, use
Mhm.
that breathing technique. That does work. It really does. Because I can't imagine. I left the hospital in 2016 and, oh, I want to say a heartfelt thank you to the nurses and the doctors and the housekeepers and the CNAs. And if anybody I forgot, please forgive me. But each and every person who lays their toe on the hospital ground,
Absolutely.
you know, it, thank you is not enough,
No,
especially in
it's
this season. It's not enough, and we have to stop attacking one another and really help one another because we are losing doctors, we're losing nurses.
yes.
It's
We're
it's
losing
hard.
housekeeping staff. You're losing,
Mhm.
like you said. Listen, the even you know, the your unit clerks. I mean, everybody is stepping up to do their best job, because you better believe that those orders are flying and those
Oh
unit
yeah,
get them off and
yeah,
transcribe them correctly so that people could get their correct medicines and everything. So everybody plays a
a
part.
big part.
I'm just going to take a moment to tell you a quick story. I
Okay.
had one of the hospitals I was working at one time, and the housekeeper went on vacation, and she was gone for like a month. I was so distressed because that bathroom, our unit bathroom was nasty. I don't know. They didn't assign anyone to cover that
Mm,
on a regular basis, so it had different people. So I don't think anybody really had the commitment. I mean, going in there, finding out toilet paper. And what it made me realize was just how important being able to go to the bathroom and know that you reach for the toilet tissue and it's there.
wow, wow. Yeah,
So everyone plays a role, and we
absolutely.
advocate for each other. Have that same compassion that we have for our patients and our jobs, and have that for each other. It's
Right.
now.
So I want to get back to this wonderful book here, Lead
Oh,
Powerfully
yes.
from Within. What possessed you to write this?
Well, I really, as I was getting ready to retire, which I was able to get an early retirement, praise the Lord, hallelujah.
Yes.
Um, I was thinking about what did I want to leave as my legacy, because I loved my career. I ended up, like I said, didn't want to be a nurse, but I absolutely loved my career. I loved working with the nurses. I loved always trying to promote them and help them because, like you said, so many managers don't have never worked in the field, but I
Right.
was from home health aid background. So I understood what it's like to be a home health aide, LPN, all of those levels. And I said, what would I want to leave them? And what I really decided was that's what made me write the book, because I wanted to remind them that it's about your calling, it's about your purpose, it's about how you have the privilege as a nurse to stand
Mhm.
in there for somebody. And don't forget the power of that, being able to remember why you do what you do. Because we can get caught up with, I don't have any support, I don't have the supply,
Mhm.
I don't make the money I really should make. We can get caught up on all the negative things, but if you really tap back into your calling, that I have a privilege of helping someone move from illness to health. I have
Mm.
a privilege of helping
Yes.
someone get the resources they need to help their family and themselves thrive. And so that's what made me think about it. And it made me think about how did I operate in my career? And that was what I would do when things would get really crazy. I would tap into, why am I doing what I do? What's my joy in doing this nursing work? And my joy is helping people and being able to bring my gifts, my talents of compassion, of being able to listen, of being able to think. Because let's face it, as nurses, we think, okay? We put
Mhm.
all those pieces together to
Right.
help get through. And so it just came up to me that when you lead with your purpose, you lead powerfully from within. When we're connected to our divine purpose, there's a reason why we're here.
Right.
You're here. We are all here in this day and time because it matters. And so,
Mhm.
do we need to do to remember why we matter and why what we do matters?
Oh, that's
So that,
beautiful. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And I want every healthcare worker out there to know there's a purpose for you. You're more than a doctor, a nurse, housekeeping, laboratory, pharmacy. There's something in you that God has been
yes,
trying to tell you to do or to pursue. There's something there. All you have to do is look back and reflect on your life, where you've
yes,
been, and then where you're going. And there's little
absolutely.
signs all along the way. It just takes that time to listen.
To listen. And that's what made me move into coaching, because it was funny that after everything was said and done, I said, coaching is kind of what we do as nurses, right?
Yep,
We're people, we're teaching, we're
yep,
the rah-rah,
yep.
you can do,
I'm gonna get this IV. Yeah.
we gonna and you're gonna get this medicine and you're gonna feel better.
Yes.
Yes. So that was the other part of it too, is just looking at, yeah, what's next. So some of our nurses, some of our healthcare professionals, they're going to be looking at what else they want to do when this is
Right,
done. So looking at you becoming a personal nurse advocate, and me becoming a life coach, and using our skills that we learned as nurses and
right.
bringing them still with our passions now of still helping people.
Absolutely.
So what
Absolutely.
I would say, what do you mentioned it as far as where you are now and where do you want to go? So we can't get so caught up in what's going on right now that we still don't look to our future, because we should
Absolutely.
plan for our future.
Absolutely. So let's hold that book up again.
All right. Lead
Yes.
powerfully from within. And I even want my scrubs for the picture, but yeah, you got to figure out your purpose and figure out your why, and
Yes.
know it comes from within. And when you're on that track, it's renewing in itself. So even when you get done and you say, I'm not doing this anymore, and then you reconnect.
Mm.
Um, that I have my clients do is write a personal mission statement. So you know how businesses have a mission statement. I have people,
Mm-hmm.
mission statement. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Right.
Connect
Right.
with that. And it will keep you rejuvenated. It'll keep you moving forward, and it'll keep you right into your purpose, whether it's staying in the hospital, nursing home, or whether it's doing something like we do.
Absolutely. I think every healthcare professional and then those outside the healthcare profession should read your book. And so,
Absolutely.
how would they get in touch with you? What's your preferred method of them getting in touch with you? Where do they go to buy your book? So, tell us a little bit
Okay.
about that.
Well, you can reach me at lifecoachrn.com. That's my website,
Mhm.
lifecoachrn.com. And on my website, you can actually order a copy of my book, and you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation to see if coaching would benefit you right now in your life, as far as, especially if you need to get out of your own way. And that's my Check Your Chicken. That's
Yes.
the coming book. I know, right?
And we're going to have
Um,
you back to talk about
yes,
that as
I'm
well.
gonna come back when that's ready, but that's all about how do you work with your mindset?
Mm,
How to really change your thinking. And I write, change your thinking, change your life. And that's when you check why you're acting like a chicken instead of the eagle that you were born to be.
beautiful.
So next, that's coming up. But they can have a free consultation with me, and they can also and they can schedule an appointment that'll be convenient for them, because I have my calendar in there, so they can make an appointment. And yeah, that's the best way to get in touch with me. And
Wonderful.
subscribe to my newsletter when you're there also.
Absolutely. Well, Naomi, it has been a true pleasure. I wish we could go on more. This
I
has been
know,
so much fun. Well, I love it.
I
I
know.
love it. Well, you guys, please, please, please get with my friend, the life coach RN. She is amazing. And you have to
Hey,
lead powerfully from within. It starts within. And if you don't know how to get that started, Naomi Jones, RN,
I
is
can
the
help.
one to talk to.
Thank you,
Oh,
Deirdre.
oh,
Thank you,
you are
Deirdre.
so
It's been
welcome.
such a pleasure. I'm so excited when I see, nurses like you just branching out into, see, we can do business too. That's
Right,
right.
right.
And bring our skills to the forefront. So there's a place for everyone. And then that's what we just got to do, is find out where your place is at. So it's been,
Absolutely.
thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Health Chats Among Friends, where we bring you reputable resources from my dear friends. Tune in next time for another amazing chat. I'm Deidre Kindred, your nurse advocate, coach, and navigator. And I just stole your coach, didn't I? But
It's
that's
okay. There's
props.
enough for all of us. That's right.
Well, thank you, Naomi Jones, again. And you guys have a wonderful evening.